Welcome back, everybody, to another Monday night here on the Saints stream. And as you can tell by the overlay, by our jerseys, it's an Academy night for us tonight. So we've got 7 p.m. NACE Starleague Rocket League. We're going to have Saints Academy up against Kean University. This should be a good one. I'm joined here once again by Adam. He's coming in. We're going to have some Valorant later tonight. It'll be a good night of casting, I think.
It's going to be fun, and especially here, getting to do some Rocket League, a little bit odd for a Monday, especially just with the scheduling that turned out, no varsity Valorant today. That's been moved to Friday, no League tonight, or no C-Val either. That also got rescheduled as well. So a bunch of reschedules just opened it up for an Academy Monday, which is always nice to see. Always good to get all of our teams in action. But of course, Rocket League on the top of our minds after this weekend, especially, CCA Open, a really good performance out of varsity. We'll see if Academy can sort of follow that up today with another strong performance. And with the team being at 4-0, only dropping a single game thus far throughout this season, they're looking really, really strong. As for Kean University, they've had a little bit more of an up and down season. They've had some 3-0s for themselves, 3-0s against them, a 3-2 as well against Blinn College. So a little bit of a mixed bag for them, to say the least.
Yeah, Saints Academy really just coming into this one, you're coming hot off of, I believe the last win was a 3-0 there, and then the 3-1 was a little earlier on in the season there. And yeah, really, you're coming off of these wins. You're coming into this week hot. You want to keep that undefeated score. So it's really just going to come down to, come in, shut down Kean University, and take that 5-0 in week 5, really.
Exactly. You really want to sort of pop it through there. And I mean, if we can actually get those standings up on this screen here, we can see sort of their match history a little bit here, and you can see very dominant throughout this season there. Yeah, as you mentioned, the 3-1 a little bit earlier. Actually, a forfeit win last week against Blinn College White. So overall, a really strong season for Saints Academy. And I think this is a team that, has a lot of expectations, especially considering how the Saints did, the varsity team did in CRL last season, and how they've sort of grown as a team. This Academy team still has a lot of really strong members on there. I don't think that you can really call this much of an Academy squad. They could be a varsity squad in a lot of different schools as well, but just that's how stacked Rocket League is here at St.
Yeah, I mean, and it really comes from last year, green and gold, right? Those two teams coming in and just kind of fitting into that varsity and Academy slot. It really is like so interchangeable. Exactly. I mean, last year, this year, even we see subs coming in and out, up and down, right? Because all these teams, or all these players on these teams, they're just at that level here in collegiate, and it's awesome to be a part of that here at St. Clair. And yeah, we should have the lobby coming up in just a second here, but coming in later tonight, I guess we can introduce our Valorant game a little bit as well. We've got 8 p.m. Valorant tonight, and that is going to be up against Carleton University White. And not only that, but it's the Valorant squad for Academy tonight. And that is going to be our first time actually having them on stream.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see how Valorant Academy is going to do. We've seen a lot of good performances out of varsity. Campus clutch, even in NACC and everything after a rough start to the season against Fisher. We all remember that one a little bit too fondly. Yeah. After all of that, though, they've really come into their own. They've really pushed themselves to that next level. With C-Val right around the corner as well. Really looking forward to see how, all of the Valorant players do in that regard. Of course, with the Academy roster, they're trying out some new players for tonight. So a little bit of an experimental roster, but of course, going up against Carleton University White. And the thing that I love, being a former GG from the University of Ottawa, is the fact that I get to trash talk Carleton. There's 3 schools in Ottawa. Algonquin, they play, the middleman. They don't do anything. But Carleton, you got the outside campus. It takes 30 minutes to walk across campus. Who wants to go there? Ottawa is the way to go. So I get to trash talk Carleton all night. It's going to be a great time for that Academy game as well.
I mean, fair enough. Like, I can't knock that. You got to feel it's got to be exciting for you coming into
I've got a horse in the
race
a little bit there.
Yeah, and we are just going to throw it to a quick little break here as we get into this Rocket League lobby. And as usual for Rocket League, we will meet you guys back on the field.
And welcome back, everyone, to Saints Rocket League. We go onto the pitch already here. Got ourselves Kean University against St. Clair Academy, and already a little bit of action going back and forth. Fun fact, first time cast in Rocket League, this one's going to be fun. Of course, alongside Fundy, as always, going to be a great time. There's already a demo coming through from Raw.
Yeah, Rocket League, honestly, in my opinion, great game to cast. Sometimes there are slow games, to say the least, in Rocket League, but you know, a lot of times in these collegiate leagues, you see so much action right off the starting end. It's really the Rocket League classic for them to score a goal before we cut into the game, because these Rocket League players love to just get into game that fast. But coming out there from Kean University, it's Indemnity, I believe is how you would pronounce that one. It's going to find that first goal there and already grab control of the ball on the kickoff as well.
And you can see roster for the Saints, actually Nitrix, Snowball, and Raw coming through. On the flip side, we'll figure it out as they come along. It's Indemnity, at least the one who scored that early goal. And it's going to be Indemnity scoring another one as Kean University already off to the races here, up 2-0.
Wow. Yeah, Saints Academy, you cannot be letting those rollers come in like that. You see Ramen trying his best with that boost to be on the rotation, but just too heavy of a commitment from the Saints to be able to save that one. And that's really like the killer in Rocket League, is overcommitting. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know, overcommitting, sending too many members through, and of course, you know, Rocket League, sort of one of the simpler esports to understand as well. It's car soccer, you know? In the same sense, in traditional sports, you can't send too many people forward. You got to make sure that you still got your defensive structure intact, but of course, Saucer, Indemnity, and I believe the last member was, we'll get them on the screen in a bit, whoever that last member is, they've been doing a good job too, overall. So very curious to see if Academy can sort of come back into this one, you know, quarter of the way through this first game. Been a little bit rough around the edges there, especially giving over a couple of easier goals, I want to say.
Yeah, and early goals are a big issue in Rocket League too, because a lot of times Rocket League, it's almost like a mental game, right? And it's staring down a 2-0 lead that early in the game. I mean, yeah, you've got, you know, over half of the game left still to be played, but it's just you're playing catch up over and over again, and it's actually Red Blur on that save there. That's that third member. Finally caught him in the feed there.
It's tough to catch them all in the feed every once in a while, but as you can see, Saints Academy actually going to be controlling it quite well, and a little shot on net here. Be a nice save from Nitrix to sort of kick it away there, but nonetheless, going to be pushing forward here, trying to get a little bit of a counterattack going on here. Crossing it in front, not going to be quite enough. As sort of just in this neutral game thus far, going back and forth in terms of the action. Saints trying their best to control this ball as much as possible, and they've done a decent job of it, but in the last 30 seconds or so, Kean has definitely sort of turned this around in their favor a little bit more here.
Yeah, and you can see Ramen playing back a lot more after that first goal came in, and that second one as well. Definitely, you know, you just don't want to leave that gap open. You can't have that slow defender, that defender that's just not in your zone when you need them. And Ramen looks like they're going to be stepping up and kind of taking that role this game, as the demo does come through, so that should give them a little bit of time to set something up. Ramen with the bouncer, but Red Blur just going to be challenging it and starting the clear, possibly setting up something towards the middle. Going to be cleared out from the backboard as Snowball. Aerial play, can you get it started? Red Blur just going to grab it right off the nose there.
Of course, this is a team that hasn't really dropped too many games. One game throughout this entire season, but thus far coming out a little bit flat here against Kean. Kean is a strong team. You know, we mentioned they did have some messier series. They've had a little bit of a mixed bag, but Raw just going to go right in front there. Drop that one in the net. Going to cut that lead in half, and with 2 minutes left, more than enough time to clean themselves up. At least a tie or even push them over the edge.
Yeah, one goal is nothing in Rocket League. It goes like that, and you see, you know, the maneuvers, a little half flip there. Going to find the goal and just weave it right through those defenders. And you know, sometimes in Rocket League, I've noticed this a lot, players will just opt to try and, like, slow it down, get up to the net, and outmaneuver the defender on the ground there when you don't have the boost available for those aerial plays, you know, when you don't really have the resources. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of breaking and making them overcommit on the defense, and then you find your gap. And so much pressure here from Kean University off the backboard. Ramen going to be clearing it out, but Red Blur keep the dream alive right now.
Yeah, keep it in their zone for at least the foreseeable future here. Saucer actually going to come through with an aerial, but good job on blocking that one up. Snowball now going a little bit on the offensive, going to miss that aerial maneuver as well. So Kean, they've done a really good job of keeping up pressure for the last 40 seconds here, really preventing Saints Academy from being able to push forward. And now a little bit of a miss there. Indemnity is going to get a little bit of a chance here. Get blocked up here, but with 1 minute remaining, gotta expect Saints Academy to try and put something together here. But once again, this pressure from Kean so good. Rebler just going to hit the post there as Saints Academy trying to collect themselves a little bit more. Actually, get it through the defender. Now starting to turn things around. Saucer actually going to give one up right into the middle there. Go off the backboard as well.
Coming straight down to Ramen here. The setup, good, but just going to go high.
Ooh.
Too much on that ball, but Ramen coming back. Assisted by Nitrix there. You can see Ramen setting it up for himself there. Going to come back down, bounce right off Nitrix. And it's actually the other
Saucer.
It's going to be Kean evening it up for themselves there. Sometimes, it's going to happen when you're flying for those messy balls in front of the net there. Just those battles in the crease. Sometimes it just hits off the goalie's skate,
Exactly, and I think what they were trying to do there, I think it was Saucer. They were trying to hit it off the backboard, trying to clear it out that way, but unfortunately got the wrong angle on it. But with 30 seconds left, might be destined for overtime, but you never say it's over till it's over, See Saucer getting demoed here, so a little bit of a 3v2 situation. Nitrix really trying to push forward that pace, try to get it in front. Nice aerial maneuver, another double dodge there to come through, but unfortunately not going to quite hit that net. 5 seconds left. We'll see if they're able to keep it up in the air as well. Of course, 0 doesn't quite mean 0, but nonetheless, destined for overtime. Next goal effectively wins here, but going to touch the ground. And now, first game of this stream, sorry. We're going to go into overtime.
Yeah, Indemnity's got a mesmerizing paint job there on the car as well.
Yeah, it's tough to keep our attention at that with some of the paint jobs coming through, but nonetheless, Saints Academy already pushing forward. A little bit of a demo coming through, getting a little bit of an advantage as Raw, and another one for themselves. But nonetheless, Kean University doing what they can here to keep the pressure up. But thus far, the last 3 minutes has really gone more in Academy's favor here.
Yeah, and here's the play getting set up. Indemnity just there in net, and Nitrix not able to make that rebound play as well. Going to be cleared out now. More time to play with for the Saints. Long lob shot there from Ramen, and not going to be caught. Nitrix sending it down the middle, but just going to miss top corner. Hitting the post there. Ramen, Snowball there on the shot, actually. Great try on the shot, but angle is just a little off. As long as the Saints can shut down these aerial plays that Kean University keeps trying to start with here, I really don't see them, giving this overtime up. The 2 goals that Kean University found were just from overcommits. As long as you're playing your defense solid, I don't see why Snowball can't come in and find the bouncer, find the roller there. 66-kilometer shot just going to sail into the net.
Yeah, a little bit of a squeaker coming through. Basically, just once again, a little bit of an overcommit coming through from Kean University as Saints Academy, down 2-0 within a minute of this game, just sort of said, okay, let's breathe, let's take a break, and getting it back in overtime. And really that last 3 minutes really set the tone for them. It was more of what we expected out of Saints Academy, I want to say. And I think we can expect them to sort of show up a little bit more. And I think looking at the scoreboard here, actually, really good performance out of Ramen to open this one up, really setting the pace for themselves after a little bit of an overcommit to start it off. I feel like that first minute, Ramen was just getting over some nerves a little bit. After that, they really took off and were off to the races at that point.
Yeah, and it really just came down to the fact that, this comeback was possible because after that first minute and a half, right, after those first 2 goals were scored, Saints just, we're just not going to mess anything up. We're just going to play safe Rocket League, play 2-man balls, 2-man plays there, passing in the front, and you never have to risk that third person coming in to make any of these offensive plays happen because they know they've got the skills, they know they've got the mechanics to make these shots. You don't need that third member to risk it all for your team.
Back onto the pitch we go already. Early pressure coming through from Kean, but great save coming through from Nitrix as well to keep the score at 0s here. Of course, game 2 coming through. Curious to see if there's any changes that come through from Kean, but already St. Clair Academy going a little bit more aggressive here, already getting a couple shots on goal to start us off here. This first minute and a half, I think, is going to be pivotal to see if Kean are able to sort of recreate that success they had in the last game, or if they're going to, sort of fall by the wayside here as Academy's momentum pushes them forth.
Yeah, and Rocket League, you're going to hear this every single time I cast with you, Adam. Momentum-based game. And it's the unfortunate thing is, like, you know, it's a broken record at this point, but it's so true. It really just comes down to how are they feeling on that day? How did game 1 go? How did game 2 go? You know, it really just comes down to mentals a lot of the times and how warmed up these teams are feeling. Nitrix, there's the shot. Assist from Snowball off the backboard there. Nitrix going to clean that one up and take it 1-0 for the Saints.
Yeah, really good play, just moving forward from that defensive half, just pushing it forward. Already got that spooky themed boom as well. You know, it's Halloween season. You got to expect that to come through at some point. But of course, it's good to keep them keep this momentum going. You know, it's been effectively 4 goals in a row now coming through from Saints Academy, and much different from a lot of the other games that go to these sort of best of series. Rocket League, the games just go. They go back to back to back. You know, you can carry momentum over from game 1 to game 2 to game 3 a lot easier than other esports out there. You know, the Open League, thinking of Valorant, it's a little bit easier to ice out your opponents and get some momentum back in that sense. But already Academy just putting the heat down here. Getting colder here in Windsor, but of course they're going to keep that heat up on the pitch.
Yeah, and the momentum thing too, I feel like it also comes from the fact that, you know, there's no inherent advantage a team can have in Rocket League. Once a goal is scored, you're back to even, right back at the kickoff. So it just comes down to the second you get that lead, you can just keep doing exactly what you were doing. And if the other team can't really adapt to it, it's just going to keep working and it's just going to keep flying. They're now 2 minutes into this game and not too much action to speak of. A couple shot attempts from St. Clair after that first goal, but it's just going to be a lot of air stalling in the air there from, I believe it was Indemnity there, Saucer, and corner one not going to be found by Snowball as it's Indemnity now taking it up the pitch.
Yeah, and slowing down a little bit here, you know, still a little bit of a tight margin here. Saints Academy just content to sort of play their style. You know, it's a very, as you mentioned, a 2-1 approach here. 2 members in that offensive zone just sort of rotating back as necessary, but really no pressure coming through from Kean. Even in front of their own net, they're getting a little bit messy, as you mentioned. Some air stalling, it just seems like they're a little bit lost on the play, but Snowball thus far just sticking around on that backside, keeping their zone safe, but Indemnity coming through, knocking it down here. Going to see if they can set it up for red-blue, but not quite going to go off that backboard. Once again, Saints Academy right back on the offensive here, just going to miss the left.
Yeah, really what I'm seeing right now here from Kean is their defense is solid. I mean, the one goal was scored on them, but currently, like, the amount of shot attempts coming out from St. Clair College, from Saints Academy here, and just the amount of saves coming out as well, you know, definitely Kean's defense is solid. It really just comes down to they don't seem to have that teamwork really nailed down on some of the offensive opportunities. The two-man plays really aren't coming through the way you'd want them to, and it takes someone like Red Blur to get super aggressive there and now give up a shot for their team. That's going to be 2-0. Saints Academy giving some of Kean's medicine right back to them. You're going to overcommit. We're just going to let it roll right in.
Exactly, and it seems like just the change of strategy coming through from Kean. They get aggressive. They send Red Blur up a little bit too far. Ends up coming back to bite them just a little bit here. And now Saints Academy holding on to a 2-goal lead. With how good their defense has been on the opposite side, you know, it's going to be difficult for Kean to sort of break this stronghold that Saints Academy have established for themselves right now. I mean, a lot of this work has been done by Raman, just continuously putting the ball on the opposite side of the pitch here to just keep that momentum going. And as you can see, I miss out on that one, but nonetheless, Nitrix are always there to back it up as well. You know, at the right place at the right time. This is why they did so well in CRL last year.
Yeah, and second opportunity not going to come there from, I believe it was Nitrix trying to be there on the follow-up, and now 2 players back from the Saints in net. And here's the thing about being up 2-0. Every single time they clear that ball to the blue zone, that's 10 more seconds, 15 more seconds. Like, however much time you can stall, now 40 seconds for Kean University to make up 2 goals. Raman just sending them high straight to the net. There's another 8 seconds shaved off. 32 seconds left. Kean trying to get something going. Indemnity flying by the ball. Raman going to take it. Look at the stall here. Literally just waiting by the ball, because even 1 goal right now is not super threatening for Saints Academy.
You can see all 3 members are sort of in that defensive zone. Great save there from Snowball as well. And just sort of parking the bus, the strategy that you've heard a couple of times, you know, coming through in soccer and everything. Just park the bus, don't need to force anything, just going to hold back. We're going to wait as long as possible, prevent any sort of offensive opportunities. And by the looks of it, Kean not going to be able to take this one, just waiting for that ball to drop down. It's going to be a shutout coming through for Saints Academy. Once again, really strong play from all 3 members. And I think especially here, Raw just being that offensive threat and Nitrix being the defensive stalwart, Snowball just playing in the between. Really good performance, and overall, another strong showing coming through. And Kean University, they seem to have been stumped in that one. They couldn't get anything going for themselves.
Yeah, straight after that comeback victory, they're able to come into game 2, come out strong, shut down just about every offensive opportunity. In that last 50 seconds there, Kean was getting something started, but when you're already down 2-0 and then the save comes through, the clear comes through, you're just staring down the timer. You're waiting for game 3, and now it really comes down to Kean University, can you make that reverse sweep? We've seen it before in Rocket League. It happens. Can you shut down the Saints' undefeated streak here in NACE Starleague? Or are they going to leave week 5 with a 5-0 record?
And I mean, once again, goes back to the momentum. You know, you're given, a minute, 2 minutes to sort of think about what you've done, try and strategize just a little bit here, and then you're back onto the pitch here. Indemnity already getting extremely aggressive. Red Bull are going to find an opportunity in front, just a little bit high off the crossbar. Once again, off the post there, actually going to come through is Kean. You can see how aggressive they're playing this time around, but Nitrix is going to clear that out. As you mentioned, time becomes a resource for the team that's in the lead. You just want to burn as much clock as possible. In this early game, though, you got to be a little bit more aggressive, and you can see that coming through from Raw, just speeding forward, trying to find anything that they can. Going to find a demo as well onto Saucer here. From the side, trying to get some aerial across it to the middle, but thus far, nothing too crazy. They're just blowing everyone up here.
Double demo. So much time for Snowball to make something happen, but there's the respawns coming through. Indemnity challenged that ball just at the last second and was able to stall just enough for the teammates to come back. There's another demo coming through, but not the right person. You want demoed, you got to get that goalkeeper out of there, because otherwise these shots are just going to be saved. We see 2 shots now from Nitrix coming out. No goals to speak of in this first minute, but the pressure going to be reset here by Snowball, who grabs the ball control. Nitrix off the post, and Saucer going to clear it out before they get demoed.
Yeah, it's just a splody fest coming through from the side of St. Clair. They're just trying to find as many demos as possible, because why not? You don't get points for it right overall in your score. You don't get actual goals coming for you, but might as well rack that up, collect up those achievements as well. But thus far, Kean have done a really good job despite having an average of 2.5 members on the pitch at a time. But in front, Indemnity looking for it. Weak shot comes across, though, as Raman's able to clear that one out once again. And Saucer able to connect on that one. Another demo. It actually goes back and forth. They demoed each other there. Yeah. Snowball going to fire it in front, but no one's there to clean that one up. That's what happens when it turns into a 2v2 for that little bit. Yeah. Your offensive opportunities get a little bit more limited.
Yeah, and that's interesting, too. I don't think I've ever actually seen that before, where both of them just demo each other at the same time. Often there might be, one teammate comes in, almost trades them out like it's a Valorant game, right? But not often have I seen both of them just demoing each other. They both hit that right speed, hit that demo. There's Indemnity off the backboard, coming in, making it 1-0. Saints Academy, now you got to come back.
Yeah, a little bit of a break in the momentum here, just Indemnity left untouched. You got to mark your man in that sense, and unfortunately, it seems as if Indemnity was just able to sneak past the defenses a little bit, and now give them a slight advantage, but of course, more than half of this game remaining. Saints Academy, they've had their fair share of offensive opportunities. I think now it's just time to execute on them a little bit more aggressively, and already off the backboard, you can see how much they're pushing for it. Nitrix just going to miss on the back rebound there. Going to be Raman cleaning that one up, and that was, 12 seconds later, they flipped that momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, Saints Academy not messing around. They're not going to let this 3-0 slip their hands. They've got 1 game loss to their name in the season so far. They're not going to let that number go higher. 2? No. Are you kidding me? No. We want to see 3 O's on the scoreboard here. That's what Academy is saying right now to me with their gameplay.
Yeah, and they're playing, just as aggressively as they were this entire time. They kind of had that fire lit under them, saying, we gave over a goal. Got to be a little bit more decisive in that. And exactly as we mentioned that, Raman is going to score another one. Within the span of the last 30 seconds, score has gone from 0-0 to 2-1 in favor of St. Clair College Academy. And, they've turned it up to another gear.
That beautiful backflip there from Raman to be able to hit that shot. And now the lead has flipped in, 30 seconds here? Yeah. First, we have a 0-goal game for 2.5 minutes, and now suddenly we're in a situation where Saints were down, Saints are now up. Raman going in to try and make it a hat trick. Not going to be good there, as it's going to be cleared out. Back over to Raman in the corner, though. Cleared out by Saucer. Back to Saints on the defense, but when you're playing with this lead now, 1-goal lead ain't much, especially if Red Blur is going to be coming in with shots like that, but the demo definitely going to help a little bit to give them some time. Nitrix, you've got full boost to save that shot. Indemnity has to try and go for it.
And you can see, you know, Kean University started to turn up the heat a little bit here. Indemnity especially just playing on that offensive side. But, you know, Ramen doing it on both sides, getting a great save to clear that one out at the very beginning of that play. And now starting to slow down once again. Snowball going to control this, actually get a little bit of an opportunity, a shot onto the net, gonna just miss by the post, but you can see two Saints behind the defensive structure of Kean University for that little bit of time. Just shows how much presence they're having, and now once again the clock becomes your friend if you are Saints Academy. You're just trying to burn as much time as possible. High clears, park the bus, try and clean this one up as Indemnity gets a demo to Nitrix.
Yeah, demo gonna be right back from Snowball there as Ramen taking it high there, drops right under Indemnity. It's actually going to hit off the roof there. Bounce straight up into the air, right for Snowball to find it. Nitrix actually taking it away from Indemnity there to keep this pressure going. I like the way Saints are just shutting down these attempted touches from Kean University. They're not even going to let them hit the ball. There's the air bump coming in. Ramen, they want to keep this pressure going from the skies. There's number 3. Ramen with the hat trick. 3 goals to close out game 3 here. 38 seconds left. Kean University, you got to make a miracle happen.
Yeah, a little bit of an, I don't want to say insurmountable. It's definitely possible, but a difficult to surmount. We'll put it at that. That's one way to, you know, get it going. Is Indemnity already getting an early shot in net. Redblur now trying to control it. Saints Academy, though, going to have enough members there. The double goalkeeper sort of pushing forward. 30 seconds left in this one. Will Kean University have enough time to make this one interesting? Saints Academy, once again, using the clock as their friend. They're definitely controlling this ball a lot better. Nitrix just going to keep it in the air, keep it in the middle of the field here. And now, with that clock ticking down below 10 seconds now, seems a little bit unfortunate for Kean. They've just sort of left the match even at that. They're just saying, yep, that's all she wrote as Saints Academy. 3-0 victory. It was close for the first 2.5 minutes. After that, it was a little bit more domination coming through from the side of St. Clair College.
Yeah, and there it is. You know, it's 1 from Ramen, it's 2 from Ramen, and then it's a hat trick to clean it up, and it's that momentum carrying all the way through to game 3 there. That's going to be the 3-0, staying undefeated. It's your Saints Academy Rocket League roster here.
Yeah, and that was quick. That was one of the quicker games we could have had. You know,
we did have overtime, actually. A little
bit of overtime. It wasn't as short as it could have been, but definitely faster paced than that. And I mean, just overall, strong performance. Wasn't really in doubt apart from that first little bit of game 1 there. But after that, they really were able to stifle what Kean University were putting together. But of course, good thing about these streams, we get a doubleheader.
Yeah,
so
we do get a doubleheader.
After this, we are going to take a quick break before we switch gears and head over to Academy of Valorant. But, of course, we've got a replay reel. We've got a little bit of a break before then. Don't go anywhere. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be back with more Academy action. Coming through. On the flip side, we'll figure it out as they come along. It's Indemnity, at least the one who scored that early goal, and it's going to be Indemnity scoring another one as Kean University. Kean is a strong team. You know, we mentioned they did have some messier series. They've had a little bit of a mixed bag, but Raj is going to go right in front there. Drop that one in right to the middle there. Go off the backboard as well.
Coming straight down to Ramen here. The setup, good, but she's going to go high. Too much on that ball, but Ramen coming back to start with here. I really don't see them, you know, giving this overtime up. The 2 goals that Kean University found were just from overcommits. As long as you're playing your defense solid, I don't see why Snowball can't come in and find how warmed up these teams are feeling. Nitrix, there's the shot. Assist from Snowball. The 2-man plays really aren't coming through the way you want them to, and it takes someone like Redblur to get super aggressive there and now give up a shot for their team. That's going to be like, it's a Valorant game, right? But not often have I seen both of them just promote each other. They both hit that right speed, hit that demo. There's Indemnity off the back.
Execute on them a little bit more aggressively, and already off the backboard, you can see how much they're pushing for it. Nitrix just going to miss on the back rebound there. Going to be Ramen cleaning it out. Yeah, and they're playing, you know, just as aggressively as they were this entire time. They kind of had that fire lit under them, saying, we gave over a goal. Got to be a little bit more decisive in that, and exactly
keep this pressure going. I like the way Saints are just shutting down these attempted touches from Kean University. They're not even going to let them hit the ball. There's the air bump coming in. Ramen, they want to keep this pressure going from the skies.